Okay, this is an exercise actually for your entire body. So you can see when I'm on my knees, and nobody ever wants to get on their knees because it hurts. But if you have flexibility in your spine, strength in your core, which includes your legs, and balance, it should not hurt, and also in your feet. So the first thing we do when you're standing, think about if you're standing, it's like this. We stand up like this, but we don't bring any air up, and then we go, oh, we lifted something heavy. Ah, I hurt my back. Well, we're tight right here from the front because gravity is pushing us down. So if we don't bring our feet flat on the floor and get grounded, okay, your back never releases. What does that mean? If you're standing and all you do is walk like this, right, and you never shift your weight backwards, your hamstrings never loosen, your back is always tight, your front, this is always tight in the front, and look what happens. So I see this with people when they're walking. Well, that helps because it opens your airway up here so you can exhale. But what doesn't happen is they're so tight, we're so tight right here in the back that we can't exhale, or if we do exhale, we're so tight right here that we can't let our knees drop and our pelvis open. So what is the best thing to do? The best thing to do is you need to learn how to breathe. Why? Because breathing relaxes you and takes away the hurt, and then you can contract and do walk right, exercise walk right. But they never talk about breathing, hardly ever talk about breathing and exercise unless you're lifting heavy weights, and then it's too late. So I always start my clients with older clients with hardly any weight. If you use a younger client with hardly any weight, they can't get it because they're not hurting yet and they're not tight, right? In the places that we're tight, their spine is still okay. So when we decided that we were going to stand up, Homo sapiens, that's when all the problems started. You stand up without thinking about it, right? Up. Guess what? The blood hasn't had time to reach the brain and you get lightheaded. And you also cut off a supply. So what's the best way to do it? If you're sitting, okay, which is like being on your knees. If you're sitting and you get up like this, right, you're going to feel it all in the back, right? That's why they do deadlifts, because you try to strengthen your back to take off the pressure, the fact that you can't breathe. That's a lot of what strength training is, taking the pressure off of areas that are weak, right? So my methodology is you have to learn how to breathe to support the joint, the tendons and ligaments, and relax them. And then you start adding weight. But that's very hard for people because we don't know how to breathe. Why don't we know how to breathe? We forgot how to use our diaphragm. How come we forgot how to use our diaphragm? Because we've been sitting, holding it in and never relaxing it. So when we walk, we go like this and lift like this. If we relax the diaphragm, we can get back to the butt, shift the weight back, All the breathing is shifting your weight, right? But if you're so tight, you can't shift your weight, and you start shifting your weight like this, right? So let's go back to our knees, right? And there's also a way to get down on the floor. You have to be able to get down on the floor to be able to get back up. We started crawling when we were little. We should be able to crawl now. But to get down on the floor and crawl, you're too stiff and too tight. So we're down on the floor in a crawling position. Just become a ball. I'm not going to get into the specifics. Become a ball and exhale and inhale as if you're in the water. All you're doing is circling around your belly button. Just imagine you have water all around. I'm not going to get into specifics here because it'll take too long. The water is coming in underneath your armpits and it's going on top. It's a pump. Your chest is a pump, but two balls. It's pushing the water up and around like a figure eight. Your two sides of your butt is a pump. Right? In the middle, up between the chest and the butt, that's your center point. That center point needs to be loose. Right? Right? So you want to move around it, shake and whittle and waddle. What happens to your head? Well, the center point is right here, right? Where your esophagus is. Or your trach, your trach, whatever. The top of the head is a pump. Upper back is a pump. Let's move around it. We exhale. When we exhale, the belly drops. Let's go down to our forearms. I have this pole here to show you where my center, my point that's supporting my body. Because we're really also a tripod. Tripod, the point of the tripod, forward, we go forward, and the two sides of the tripod go backward. I need to be able to turn around that tripod. If my legs are out like this, look, can't. So I need to be able to move around the center of my body to balance and not move from the outside of my body. Otherwise, I can't stand right and I can't turn right. So I exhale and then I inhale. Isn't that what swimming is? Now, when you want to come up, your chest is a pump, back of the chest is a pump. You inhale, you round your back, right? Because you're pulling your pump, your belly in up to your back. That's going to be your pump. What happens to your feet? You're pulling in where the foot meets the ankle or the shin. You're going to lift up that shin. That's a pump. That pump goes up into your knees, the front of your knees. So you feel a pump in those knees. You feel a ball in those knees. Now you're going to exhale, right? The pump in the back of the knee, it pumps, pushes downward, pushes the calves downward. It pushes the heel, that Achilles tendon downward, and now your foot goes like this. So now what happens when you try to stand up? Because you didn't inhale. You inhale, you put one leg in front. Now what happens? Exhale on one side, inhale on the other side, right? Exhale, inhale. We're going to go to the other side. Lift the other leg. Do I lift the other leg? No, I got to lift my leg from underneath. There's water underneath. There's a pump. And then I need to exhale downward because this is so tight right here. I've been lifting it from here, right? And it made it really tight. So that pump that's in my belly, I pump it down. I press it down. My thigh goes down into my hamstring, back of my leg, down into the floor. What happens to my belly? My belly relaxes. It exhales. Exhale, exhale. My belly gets bigger, my butt gets bigger, and now I'm back to here. Underneath my knees are balls. Underneath my ankle are balls. One. I don't want to lift from here. I'm going to lift underneath the ball. That is lifting up. That's the flexion and extension of your feet. Right? That's the crucial point. That's where it all starts. But you have to be able to breathe. And you need to be pushed down and pull up, push down and pull up. All that is a contract and relax. Contract and relax. So this exercise right here, sliding, is very good for your back, for your core. But if I stay and I lean into the other side the whole time, I'm not really doing a lot. So I'm going to exhale. And as I exhale, on my other side, the belly pulls back into that other side, across this. I exhale. Now I'm going to inhale. I'm not going to move my muscle. I'm going to inhale first and then move. Right? The other side. Before you go to the other side, you have to balance. How do you balance? You have a center of gravity, it's the center of your body. Right? If you don't feel balanced, you feel tight like this, because guess what? Gravity is pushing us down. Let's round. Right? That's where you exhale. You exhale. As you exhale, your belly drops. Your belly drops, that releases your back. Ha! Once I'm here, what happens? How am I going to lift up? I see that people in yoga hurting themselves. They're going like, ah. This is how we hurt. Ah. No, you've got to get your center of gravity lower. So you exhale first, let the belly drop. Then you inhale, pulling the belly in or the pelvic floor in to your tailbone. Right? You lift the air up, 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 up. How are you going to lift it up? You press the ball up. Relax. Exhale. Push the ball down. Inhale up. So starting back where we were right here with our down on our knees. Now, if we're like this, both legs are like that, that's going to be very hard on the back. So that's why a lot of times you have a ball in front of you, or why you hang on to a counter. You can counterbalance that by inhaling on one side and exhaling on the other. Your diaphragm, right, contracts, air goes up, air goes down. Exhale. One pushes, one pulls. One side of your body pushes, one pulls. That's going to even you out. Why? Because you're moving around your center spine. You've got to move around the center spine, around the tailbone, around the pelvic bone, around the pelvis, around your hips, inner and outer thighs, all balanced. Thighs, right? Exhale. Inhale, exhale, inhale. You bring your feet underneath, right? You feel your ball of your foot. You push your ball of the foot back to the heel. If I'm tight and using my back, I can't. Or if I don't know how to breathe, I don't know how to exhale. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. Going back down to the floor again, right? Where we started again. They call this child's pose in yoga. I don't do yoga either. This is just about mechanics. If I'm tight here and I try to do a child's pose, I'm going to hurt myself. So what I can do is I can do that. This is a yoga. I don't know what the yoga pose is here. They're planting with one side, right? right? We want to use that shin, but we also need to use the arch of the foot. So lifting up from that shin and also lifting up from the calf is important to balance, right? Because you want to loosen up the back and also use the belly. Exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. And what about the neck? Exhale, inhale, and the shoulders. Same thing on the other side. One leg in front. Exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, and back. We have to crunch and contract to relax. So we're going to contract as if we have a ball underneath our belly. That ball is going to push us up. 1, 2, we're going to lift it up. 3, 4, 5. I don't even need to talk about the diaphragm. It's really self-explanatory to yourself how you do this. 11, 8. As you're bringing it up, you're going to be pushing your hamstrings, your butt forward to release the thighs. Not like this. This. 1, 2. You're sliding. You have to push forward with that ball of the foot though too, or you're going to fall over and you're going to hurt a hip or pelvis. Every time I try to stay on track with one thing, there's a million things that you have to think about. How hard it is to do things correctly. So I started like this with my feet down. If I put my ball of my foot down, I can press, right, from the ball of my foot, that arch, and it pushes this forward. So what haven't I done in my life? I have not used my ball of my foot and my arch. That's created me to be flat-footed and have back issues, ultimately. Not when I was younger, but later. 1, 2, 3. I'm using all in the front. I need to push from the back underneath that pelvic floor. I need to push from the back of the knees. I need to have an arch in that back. So you arch up here. You got to go from underneath way down here. Release it. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Jump down, jump up, jump down, jump up, jump down, jump up. Come up. And you notice it's a little harder for me to get up because my knees are stiff, but they're getting better. Well, they're stiff, they get inflamed because I didn't move right. So what do they say about that bounce? You have to have a jiggle with that bounce. When you walk, you don't want to pound down into the floor. Okay? You want to bounce. There's a song called the Brooklyn Bounce. Balls are here, balls are here. You have balls everywhere. Ball here, push down, up, down, up, down, up, contract, relax. Exhale, inhale, ball here. When you think of your body as a ball, your lymphatic system also releases. If you're afraid to move and bounce, you're going to be swollen. Your lymphatic system does not get rid of waste. That's why they say you massage, water, fluid, out and in. So you exhale. And you exhale, imagine your diaphragm is right underneath your rib cage. I'm using my pelvis to stabilize myself. I'm not using my core. I can feel it in my hips. So I'm going to come a little closer together. And right underneath where that belly button is, it goes to the back. Let's imagine that diaphragm contracting like this. It contracts. And remember, they're three-dimensional like this. Contracts, it comes out like a dome, and it relaxes. It pushes down like this and tells this to relax and tells this to expand. You just expand it like a balloon. And you expand this like a balloon, and then you're around your center of gravity. If you're tight in your hips, tight in your ankles, tight anywhere, you can't exhale. Around your center, okay? My center used to be around my belly button, but because I don't exhale and I hold all my air in here, the CO2, I need to move my center down. Once I exhale more, it flattens my belly. I want my belly to flatten. I can't flatten unless I can move in multidimensional. If I get up and I lift something up or I stand up and I don't do multidimensional, I hurt. So breathing is just like a ball, moves all around your body, just like when you're on your knees. Your knees are also balls. Your ankles are balls, right? Rub them. Relax them. Thighs and hamstrings are balls. So if you're going to come up from your knees, your ankles are balls. Your foot is a ball. If I'm going to stand up, I'm going to stand up like this. I'm going to bring my balls up slowly to support underneath my chin, my neck, and to relax these balls in my shoulders. You see, I've been doing this a lot of my life, right? I need to relax and let go and lengthen my body. And the back here is a ball that has to match the front. If I'm always walking like this, that means I'm never releasing my back ball. My back ball, my back, and using my butt ball. Why don't I have a butt, much of a butt? Because I didn't release my butt ball and come back under. Why? You have bad knees, you can't do that. Incorrect. And I didn't release this ball. Why is my neck forward? I got to release this ball. Inhale, exhale. Your chin is like your heel. You put your heel down, you go to the ball of your foot, which is like your nose. 1, 2. Ball of the foot, chin. I'm sorry, heel. You've got to have enough space between your chin and your ball of your foot. So open your mouth, drop your jaw. And inhale up here and exhale here. Loosens this. These are the 2 ankles. Open. That opens your nose, opens your airway. What about here? Open. You have sinus problems. Usually stress, in my opinion. Relax your jaw, relax your neck, relax your nose, relax your eyes, your eyeballs, your shoulders. All you are is a round ball. And you move in a figure 8. Exhale. Let the air go all the way down. Drop to those knees, drop to the ankles, drop to the feet. Let the belly fill up with air. Let the butt fill up with air. Your hips. Pushing the air down. How are we going to bring the air up? CO2 out. Breathe in. To bring the oxygen back in, push out the CO2 in. Why do they tell you to jump down and jump up or to bend? Because that gets rid of CO2. People say, well, they're telling us now to jump down and jump up and I have arthritis. Look, bounce, bounce. Exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. The reason why it's hard for you to bounce is because every part of your body is tight and you're afraid to let go. Because this is tight in the back, So you can't let go of your neck, your head, your chin. You need to be a bobbing dog. In order to stay fit as you age, you must know how to breathe and relax. People think that woman, Ellen Yates, all she does is easy. She's easy. She goes easy. That heart rate, which she had 170, she doesn't want to do that anymore. Why? Because my heart rate jumped up to 170 because I contracted. Now I want to relax and open my airways so that my blood pressure number on the bottom, my diastolic pressure stays low, relaxing my arteries. My systolic or my upper number pumps up a little bit so that I can endure the ride for a long time. If I hit it hard and I'm older, my heart's compromised or has a little kink in it, something's going to happen. So in my opinion, yes, sometimes intensity is good, but to a certain point. But the best thing for us to do as we get older is to sustain a contraction for a long period of time. Does that mean that you eliminate strength? No, you have to have strong bones and strong muscles. So you start out with shorter range of motion, but you have to know how to support the bones and the muscles by breathing. As you get stronger, you increase your range of motion. But when you start out with shorter, you're supporting the tendons and the ligaments. As you get stronger, you start using the muscle more. But what does somebody do? They take that 20-pound dumbbell and they start, I can do this. You see that? And there has to be a balance between the bicep and the tricep. So if I'm tight in my shoulders, I'm going to keep using what? More of my bicep. That's going to shorten around my shoulder and I'm going to have a shoulder problem. It's like one little thing goes wrong and the whole body goes wrong. So just be mindful of your body, balance, breathe, take time to relax, understand breathing, sit well, think of your body as a ball and all your muscles as a ball. Exhale and inhale. Thanks.